Hello, and welcome to our writing session for this hour. My name is Carissa, and I'm your teacher for this hour. Today we're going to talk about punctuation, and in particular, the period and the comma. We're going to talk about why those are important in your writing. We're going to have lots of examples prepared for class today, and I'm also looking forward to your writing samples for today. So it's ready. It's time for us to begin our lesson. So if you have your ticket, come on into the classroom and join me. Okay, very good. So, Carwan, how are you today?
Hi, teacher. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good today, Carwan. Thank you very much for asking. And what about you? How are you today?
Uh, I'm good. Just wait me to prepare my headphone.
Okay, no problem. Okay. And
Hey,
while you're doing that, let me welcome your classmate. Hi, how are you today?
I'm fine, thanks. And you?
I'm doing just fine. Would you mind telling me your name?
My name is Dima. Dima.
Dima, like that?
Yes.
Dima.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Dima, well, thank you for joining me here in class. Please tell me more about yourself, Dima.
I'm from Russia and I like sports and all about sports.
Okay, okay.
Most important part of me.
Now, do you have a particular sport that you like more than others?
Yeah, I like football, yeah, and swimming. It's my favorite kind of sport.
Okay, football and swimming. Gotcha, gotcha. I'm just going to make a couple of notes. Give me a second. Now, when you say football, do you mean American
Soccer.
football or do you mean soccer? Soccer. Okay, so Dima likes soccer. You said soccer and what was the other sport that you said that you liked, Dima? I'm sorry, Dima. I couldn't quite hear you. Tell me once again, Dima. You said you like soccer and what other sport? Okay, I think we have to wait just a moment for Dima to come back. Okay, good. All right, and then I want to welcome Ishmael. Hello, Ishmael. How are you doing this afternoon?
I am doing well, Carissa. Thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Thank you very much. Doing good. Okay, good. Well, welcome back, Ismail. Great to have you back in class.
Thank you, Carissa.
You're welcome. All right, and then, okay, so Carwan, were you able to adjust your headset?
Yeah, now it's okay. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Oh,
you just fine.
great, thank you.
Beautiful. Okay, great. So for those of you who are just joining us or who are viewing, if you do have your verbaling ticket, feel free to come on in to the classroom. We have some good lessons, some great content, and I would love to have you come and practice with us here in the Hangout. Okay, so as you read in the class description today, I'm just going to just read it just briefly so that you know which direction we're going. The goal of our lesson today is to review how and when to use periods and commas in your writing. Now, of course, we're not going to cover all of the instances where you would use commas, but we'll talk about a few that are important at this particular level. Okay, and you're also going to give me 1 to 2 writing samples, and I'm going to have your classmates take a look at your writing and classmates are going to tell us what they think of your writing, okay, if you're using the periods and commas effectively or if we need to make some improvements. Okay, all right, very good. So let's see, let's go ahead and get started. I am going to open up a screen so that you can see it. And there's lots and lots of activities today, so hopefully you came prepared for lots of activities. Let's see. Let me do a screen share. Okay, now some of the information is going to be a review for some of you listening to your level of English. It'll be a review, but it's nice to go back to basics and check your foundation. That way, when you are writing professionally or when you're writing emails, then common mistakes will not surface in your writing. Okay, let's go ahead and begin. So the first statement is use a period at the end of a complete sentence that is a statement. Okay, so there are some keywords there. Okay, at the end of a complete sentence and statement. All right, so let's take a look at a few sentences. Now, as we look at these sentences, I'd like you to tell me, look out for 3 things that these sentences all have in common. Okay? All right, very good. Ismail, can you read the sentences for me, starting with I know him?
I know him well. I work hard. I don't like chicken. I exercise 3 times a week. He is a chef.
Okay, very good. Excellent reading. Your pronunciation was very clear and easy to understand, Ismail. Okay, so going back to the question, what 3 things do these sentences all have in common? Okay, so Ismail, did you notice anything that they have in common?
Yes, they all have a meaning. How can I say? I don't know, Carissa, but
Okay, so they're meaningful, yeah.
meaningful. Yes.
Okay, so you could say that they're meaningful. You could also say they are statements. Okay, going back up to our definition, these are all statements.
Statements.
All right, so just what you said, your definition was very good. They all have meaning. So if you read them, they make sense and they all have meaning. They tell you something.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So that's one thing. They're all statements. Okay, Carlin, do you see anything else that these sentences all have in common? Okay, so there's still 2 things that we need to identify.
The dots.
Okay, now what?
And all of them have a subject and their subject and subject and something there was. I don't remember.
Okay, good. So they all have, I'm going to type it here, they all have a subject and a dot. Okay, all right. That's true. They all have a subject and a dot. Okay, do they all have a verb?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So they are sentence. Each one of them. Each sentence finished. There is a dot, and a new sentence begin, and after that there's a dot.
Okay, very good. That's right. Okay, so that is actually what a sentence is. Okay, so it's a statement that has a subject and a verb. Okay, now what is the dot called at the end of these sentences? What do we call that in English?
End of the subject.
Period.
Okay, yes, that's right. We call that a period. Okay, so if you look at the top of the screen, it says use a period.
Okay.
Okay, they all have a subject and a verb. Right, Ismail, very good. Excellent job. Okay, so when you are writing, you want to go back, well, once you have finished writing, you want to go back and check to make sure that you have complete sentences, that you are making a statement. And a statement is going to include your subject and your verb, and it will also have a period at the end of the sentence. Okay, if it does not contain these 3 things, okay, then it's not a complete sentence. Okay? All right, very good. And that's going to be your rule of thumb. Anytime you submit a writing sample, make sure you have those essential elements. All right, now let's just test it out and see if we fully understand. Okay, so here are some examples. Now, I would like you to tell me if these are complete sentences, and if they are not, I want you to tell me what's missing. What do I need to make it a complete sentence? Okay? All right. Ismail, can you please take number 1 for me?
Which looks nice. This looks nice. It is okay, I think.
Okay. All right. So let's do our check. Okay. Does it have a subject?
It's a question word, and we ask the subject in this question.
Okay. All right. Now I'll give you a hint. This is not a question.
Which looks nice?
Okay. So it's not a question.
Not a question?
Mm-mm. Okay. So just looking at those 3 words, is there a subject there?
No.
No.
There's no subject. All right. So can it be a complete sentence without a subject? It can't be a complete sentence without a subject. If there's no subject, then it's not a sentence. Okay? Now, what can we do? How can I change this to make it a complete sentence? Okay? If I take out which, okay, what subject could I put in front of looks nice?
He looks nice.
Good.
She looks nice.
Very good. All right, so let's say it that way. Okay, so she looks nice.
She looks nice.
Okay, now let's test it out again. Now we have a subject. Do we have a verb?
Yes.
Okay, which word is the verb?
Looks.
Very good. Nice.
To look is a verb.
Yep, it is. So she, and you have to conjugate it because your subject is she. Okay, so she looks nice. Now we have a complete sentence, and this is a statement. So what do we need at the end?
A period.
A period. You got it. That's right. She looks nice. Beautiful. Okay, let's take number 2. Carwan, is this a complete sentence?
Who saved my life? No. There's no subject.
Okay, so how do I change it to make it a complete sentence?
I changed the who, you mean?
Yes.
This dog saved my life.
Okay, so this dog saved my life. Yep, you could say that. No,
Period.
period. Very good. You got it. I was just going to ask. Okay, all right, let's go back to Ismail. Let's take number 3. Is this a complete sentence?
I like. Yes.
Okay, does it give you, it has a subject and a verb, but remember, the third thing that it has to be is a statement.
I like.
Okay, so does this give you a complete idea or a complete thought?
No, actually, I like swimming. Maybe.
Okay, good. So I'm sorry, say that again. I like
Swimming.
swimming. Okay, so I like swimming or I like to swim. Either one will be fine. And I gave you the answer at the end. You need a period. Okay, good. Okay, Karwan, number 4.
My city very beautiful. It's a complete sentence.
Are you sure?
No.
My city very beautiful. My city very beautiful. My city is the subject. Very, very beautiful. It's a statement or it's
Okay.
very beautiful. I think
Verb
it's
is
complete
verb
sentence.
Okay, good. So Ishmael is giving you a hint. He's saying, where is the verb in this sentence? Is there a verb?
Yeah, there is no verb. It's adjective, very beautiful, right?
Okay, yes, beautiful is the adjective, very is an adverb.
Adverb. Okay, my city is the subject, so he's right. There is no verb.
Okay, so what verb do we put there?
Uh, my city, that which very beautiful. So, looks very beautiful. Looks.
Okay, so my city looks very beautiful. Yes, I could say looks. Is there another verb that I could use?
My city. My city. um, I don't have any. Or
Okay. All right. Let's get Ishmael to help us out. What verb could we use there, Ismail?
My city is very beautiful.
There you go. Is.
oh, okay.
And I actually think you said it. You said it in it's one of those things that you just you subconsciously you don't even realize that you say it, but you do. Okay, so my city is very beautiful. And what do we need at the end?
Period.
A period. You got it. Okay, let's go to number 5. Ismail?
He can read. I think it is a sentence. There is a statement. Is there any missing?
Okay, is there a subject and a verb?
Subject he, verb to read, and auxiliary verb can.
So what do you think?
Can't.
Uh-huh.
He can't read. Can't read. I think that it has a statement. He can't read.
Okay, you're right. It is a statement. The subject is he. Cannot read is right. Can't read. That is your verb clause. Okay, so he can't read. That's right. Okay, because that's right. So the only thing we need at the end is a period. Okay, and that is your complete sentence. Okay, so you don't have a complete sentence if you don't have the correct punctuation. Right, so he can't read. That's right. Very good. Okay, Carwin, number 6.
My big headphones. It's not a complete sentence.
Okay, what's missing?
The statement. The statement. My big headphones. My big. My big headphones missing. I can say that.
Okay, now there's one thing one thing that you need to put here. So you said my big headphones missing.
Is missing.
Okay, all right, but this is plural, headphones. So
my headphones are missing.
That's right. My big headphones are missing. Okay, yep, that's right. And then at the end,
period.
A period. Beautiful. I think we're getting it. Ismail, number 7.
Number 7. The water is running. Actually, it is a strange sentence.
Yes.
Subject verb, okay, but Carissa, the meaning is corrupt, I think.
The meaning is corrupt. No, actually, it isn't corrupt. English is a bit funny that way.
Really?
Yes, it actually is a complete statement, and it makes perfect sense. The water is running. We say
How can a water run?
Well, it doesn't run in the sense that water has legs and it runs.
Okay.
It makes sense in that if you turn on the water, then the water is running.
And And if the water is cut off, how can we interpret or say this situation? If there is no water,
The water is not running. Or
not
you,
one.
it's not running, so the water is not running. Or you could also say the water
Water
is off.
off
Off. The water is off.
because of construction of water pipe system, maybe.
Right. So you could either say there's no water today, or the water is off today. If you don't pay your bill, then they cut off your water.
Okay.
They turn it off for you.
The
And you definitely
water
don't
is-
want that. Now, along that same lines, I could also say my nose is running.
You mean you have flu?
That's right. So that's the context. So if I have a cold or if I have a flu, then I can say that my nose is running.
running nose.
Hmm.
And
That's good.
the
Beautiful.
water, why we use in this example the for water?
The
For
water?
example, the
Yes.
water.
Because I'm referring to a specific water source. So if I say the water is running, I may be talking about the water in the kitchen,
Okay.
or I may be talking about the water in the bathroom. Usually you would see this sentence in context. So if I was pointing to or looking at the kitchen sink and I said the water is running, then you would know exactly what I'm talking about. If I simply say water is running, then I don't know where the source of the water is coming from. I hear water running, but I don't know where it's coming from.
Okay.
Okay, so when you use the, it's a specific water source. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead to number 8, and I think Carwan, it's your turn.
Okay. My clock is loud. It's a complete sentence, only period.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so back to you, Ismail.
To the concert with my friends. There is no subject and verb.
Okay.
I went to the concert with my friends yesterday.
Okay, and finally,
Period.
period. There you go. I went to the concert with my friends yesterday. Has a subject and a verb, and it is a complete statement. Okay, let's go to number 10, Carwan.
There is a free concert in the park. Period. Correct.
Okay, excellent job. Okay, so very good. Are there any questions about about this exercise? Any questions?
No, it's very clear. Thank you.
Okay. Now, if you are going to take some type of English exam and they are asking you about punctuation, what 3 things do we need in order to use our period at the end? What 3 things do we need?
Subject, verb, and statement, and the period in the end.
That's right. So if I have a subject, a verb, and I'm making a complete statement, or I have a complete statement, then I have the right to put a period at the end of my sentence. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about commas. Okay, now you use a comma in a few different situations. Okay, actually, as I was preparing for this class, I found a number of rules for commas, but I picked out some that you're going to see often. Okay, so here's one. Use commas to separate words and word groups in a simple series of 3 or more items. Now here's an example for you. My estate goes to my husband, son, daughter-in-law, and nephew. Okay, now look at where the commas are. Okay, so it's a series. In this series, this person is mentioning 1, 2, 3, 4 family members. Okay? Now, in order to separate them, we use a comma after each one. Okay? All right, very good. And at the end, because you have a subject and you have a verb and it's a complete statement, you use a period at the end. All right, now it's your turn. These are not quite sentences. Okay, so I need your help to make these sentences. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and begin. So let's see. Carwin, how about you take numbers 1 and 2.
Okay. Place a comma in this sentence. I like grapes, cherries, watermelon, and cantaloupe. I like grapes, comma, cherries, comma, watermelon, comma, and period, and the last of cantaloupe.
Okay, very good. All right, so that word is pronounced cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe. What's the meaning of cantaloupe?
Okay, a cantaloupe is a melon. Okay, it's a type of melon, and it has a green skin on the outside, and when you cut it, it has an orangish color flesh on the inside, and it's got little white seeds. A cantaloupe, good. Okay, so let's take number 2. And I think, Carwin, that's your turn as well.
I was searching the image of this.
Oh, for a cantaloupe, okay. That's right.
The 4 groups are men and women, boy and girl, teenager and senior citizens. The 4 groups are men and women. If there is a comma, I can use and all the time, or maybe we don't need the and put comma instead.
Okay, now remember, you have 4 groups. Okay, so who is in the first group?
Men and women. Okay, men and women, comma, boys and girls, comma, teenager and senior citizens, and period at the last.
Okay, so I just have I have only 3 groups. Okay, you said men and women, that's the first group. Boys and girls, that's the second group. Teenagers and senior citizens, that's the third group.
Third and period in the last of them.
Okay, so I'm going to put a period here, but my problem is I need 4 groups, but I only see 3 groups here.
Between the teenager and the senior citizens.
Okay.
Teenager, comma, and. Okay.
Okay, so you see, I did that on purpose so that you can see the importance of putting commas in the correct places. Okay, so if you want 4 groups, then you need that comma there. If you only want 3 groups, then what you said in the beginning is just fine.
Okay.
Okay, I could also make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could make 6 groups if I wanted to, right?
Yeah, we can do it.
Yes.
Shouldn't we use before and comma? Is it okay if we use?
Okay, and which and do you mean? There are 3 ands there.
After teenagers and.
Oh, you mean to put a comma after the and here?
No.
Okay, not there.
For example, in my own language, if we use and, we don't use before the and a comma.
Okay.
Is it okay here using a comma before the and?
Okay. Now, to answer your question, let's understand why we used a comma before and. Okay. Now, look at that sentence closely. It says the 4 groups are. Okay, so how many groups are there?
4 groups.
Okay. Now, if I take away this comma, how many groups do I have?
3 groups.
Right. Okay,
required
so
is 4.
right, so I have to put the comma here because I need 4 groups.
Okay.
Okay. Now, even if I take it out here in number 1, okay, it looks like I'm saying I like grapes, cherries, watermelon, and cantaloupe. It looks like the watermelon and the cantaloupe is together, like maybe a mix. Okay. So I just want to clarify that there are 4 separate fruits that I like. Okay, so that's not wrong. Okay, that would be appropriate. That's a very good question, though. Okay, good. So let's continue. So Ismail, your turn. Please take numbers 3 and 4.
Number 3. Clean the bathroom, comma, wash the dishes, comma, and make your bed, period.
Good. Okay. Now let's take a look at this one.
Clean the bathroom, wash the dishes, and make your bed. Not period.
I think it's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Increment.
There's no problem here. There's no problem at all. Okay, this is correct. Now, what if I take away this comma after dishes? Is this still okay?
It is still okay?
Yes, it's still okay. Right? Because there's no confusion. I know that these two things are separate. Clean the bathroom, wash the dishes, and make your bed. Okay, because washing the dishes and making your bed are two distinctly different things. So there's no confusion there. Okay, so either way is correct.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's have number 4.
Add flour, comma, sugar, comma, butter, comma, milk and eggs. Period.
Okay. Okay. Now that's right. Now here's a question for you. Do I add the milk and eggs to the flour, sugar, and butter? Or do I add milk and then eggs?
I think firstly I should add milk and then eggs.
Okay, good. Okay, so that's right. So some recipes do call for you to mix the wet ingredients together first, and you add that to the dry ingredients. Okay, so just be aware that if you add this comma here, okay, it's not wrong. Okay, it just means that I can just add each one of those things and it's fine. If I take away this comma, I could also understand that to mean I'm going to mix my milk and eggs together and then add it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you just have to be careful there, but really it's easy to understand. Usually if you have a recipe, they'll be a bit more specific. They'll give you more words so that you know exactly what you're doing.
If I don't use a comma, should I use add together with milk and eggs?
Mm-hmm. Yep, you could. You could do that. You could say add flour, sugar, butter, flour, sugar, butter.
And after that,
And after that, add milk and eggs. Yes, you could use more specific vocabulary. Right.
But if I use a comma, then not together.
Right. Okay, then it's just understood that each one is just added separately.
Okay.
Okay, so just be on the lookout for that. But otherwise, the point of this lesson is that you're just going to separate the individual things that you're adding to your mix here. Okay? Very good. Let's move on to 5 and 6, and we're going to go back to Karwan.
Okay. Wash your face, brush your teeth. Wash your face, comma. Brush your teeth, comma. Turn off the light and go to the bed. Dot.
Okay.
Period.
Good.
I can
now,
say dot or there is a difference between dot or period.
yes, there's a difference. Yeah, there's a
Okay, so
difference.
I should say period.
Right, you should definitely say period.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now, you said something here, and this goes back to, I think it was Ishmael's question. You said, and go to the bed. Do I need to put the definite article there?
To the don't
Go
to
to,
that. That.
go to
Uh,
the meaning is changing
Mm-hmm.
if I don't use the.
Right. Yeah. So what does it mean if I say go to bed?
a specific bed, let's say.
Okay. Now, the person who you're telling to go to bed, they know which bed to get into, right? So here the point is not that you're trying to tell them a specific bed to get into. You're simply saying go to sleep. Okay. This phrase actually includes a number of things. It means go into your room, turn off the light, actually physically get into bed and go to sleep. Okay, so all of that is wrapped into this one phrase, go to bed. So if a parent tells a child to go to bed, they know exactly what that means. It means everything else stops and you go to sleep.
So if
Okay.
we use go to the bed.
You don't hear people say go to the bed.
So you want to add only just to check if we put it or no, or we
Well,
cannot use it.
you can't use it. Okay, I made that point because you said it.
Okay.
So, right, so I just want you to know that you don't need the definite article there. Okay.
Okay.
The only time that you need it, you would just use an indefinite article like a. So if you're making a reservation at a hotel, you may say, I want a room with a king size bed. Okay, or with a queen size bed. Okay, so right, so you don't need an article here. Okay, beautiful. Okay, let's go to number 6.
We had coffee, comma, cheese, and cracker, and grapes. Period. Third period already.
Okay, tell me that again.
We
Repeat that
had
for me.
coffee,
Uh-huh.
cheese, and crackers, and grapes.
Okay.
Cheese, comma, between the cheese and cheese and, but there is and. We should put a comma or no need.
Okay. Now that's a good question. Now let's take a look at the sentence. Let's see if we can figure it out. Okay. So what 2 things did these people eat?
She 2 or 3.
There's 2 things.
Cheese, it's eat. Crackers also eat, and grapes.
Right. Okay. But now cheese and crackers, this person views cheese and crackers as one thing. So that's like a dish.
Cheese and crackers. Okay, comma after the crackers
Right.
and grapes.
And grapes. There you go.
Okay.
Okay? So that's why when you look at and, right, it's not necessary to use a comma before every and you see. Okay? That and just functions to show that there are 2 things that are making up one group or one dish. Okay? All right, very good. Excellent, excellent job. Okay, so let's just scroll back up here and just take a look at this section. Okay, do you have any questions on how to use commas in this way to separate a simple series of 3 or more items? Any questions about that?
No question.
It's clear.
Okay, no questions about that. Okay, very good. I'm just going to scroll down just a little bit. Here's our next little section. Okay, here's another use of the comma. All right, now you're going to use it after certain words that introduce a sentence. Now here are a few examples. Well, yes, why, hello, hey, etc. Okay, so why, I can't believe this. Okay, so this is an exclamation, it's not a question. Okay, so why, I can't believe this. Or, no, you can't have $1. Now, usually, you would probably see the second example a little bit more often. Okay, and for that reason, I prepared a few questions, and I want you to tell me the answer. Okay, and actually, instead of doing it in the chat box, you can just tell me, but I want you to tell me where the comma is. Okay? All right, so I'm going to have you do it this way. Okay, Carlin, I'm going to have you ask Ismail the first question.
Okay. Did you watch TV last night?
No, comma, I didn't watch TV last night.
Good. Excellent job. Okay, Ismail, ask Carlin number 2.
Are you a parent?
No. I'm not married yet.
Okay,
Right?
good. Good, so you could say no. Well, you wouldn't say no. You would write no, comma, not yet.
Not yet, period.
Period. Very good. Okay, Carlin, ask number 3, please.
Do you like to travel?
Yes, comma, I like to travel, period.
Okay, good. That sounds so funny. You would never actually do this in real life, but it's good because actually then when you're writing, you remember it. Okay, good. Ishmael, please ask number 4.
Do you enjoy cooking?
Yes, comma, I like it too much. Period.
Okay, so you can say yes, comma, I really enjoy cooking. Okay. Right. So too much means that it's excessive. Okay, so it's too much of something means excessive. So that's, you want to use the other word, another word, really. You could say, I really enjoy cooking, or yes, I love cooking. Okay?
Okay.
Good. Okay, Carlin, ask number 5, please.
Do you drink a gallon of water every day?
No, comma, I cannot drink a gallon of water every day.
Okay, so you said
It is
you
a lot
cannot.
of water.
What was that?
It is a lot of water, I think.
Well, actually, according to some, it's the recommended amount of water that we should each drink each day. There's some ratio to your body, your height, and your weight. So it works out to be roughly a gallon of water a day.
How many liters is equal a gallon, Carissa?
I think
It's
it's
3.
like, yeah, like,
3.7.
4? 3?
yes.
3.7.
Uh-huh.
I did Google. Now I Google it.
It's like I Googled it. Very good.
I am drinking maybe a gallon every day.
Okay, so you drink about a gallon every day. Wow, that's excellent.
Yeah.
But you work, you have to go every time to toilet.
It's good.
Yes, it's good. That means that your bladder is working
do you
good, your
work?
kidneys.
Yeah. I am working in office. Yeah.
Well,
How
usually
is
most.
your relationship with your boss?
And I put the gallon on the disc, so all of them seeing it.
Okay, so
Yes.
everyone can see your gallon of water. Wow. Yes, I think it's admirable that you can do that. I would love to drink that much water every day, but I don't think I quite get to it.
I forget to drink, so I bring it on the disc. So all the time when I'm stop doing something, I drink water.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah.
All right, well, I want to continue just a little bit. There are a few more things I want to cover before we leave for today. Okay, now here's another use of a comma. Okay, so you're going to use a comma to separate the day of the month from the year. Now I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to show you the example. Okay, so it is in the Sun's June 5th, 2003 edition. Okay, now look at where the commas are. Okay, again, you're separating the day from the month.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about some important dates. Now, for this, I am going to have you write it in the chat box. Okay, all right, all right. Okay, so I'm just getting back here, so I'm going to say hello to David. Okay, very good. Now, tell me an important date in your life. Okay, think about an important date in your life, and I want you to tell me the month, the day, and the year. Okay? All right, Ishmael, let's start with you. Type in the chat box an important date in your life.
Okay.
And you can go ahead too, Karwan. We don't have to do this in order. Just go ahead and type your important date. Okay. Good. Very good, Karwan. Okay, now the only thing I would suggest is that after your, what you'll see, just like you see in the example, there is a space. Okay, there's a space after the comma.
After the comma, okay.
Okay, so in your writing, just make sure to put that space there, but that's it. Okay. Wow, you both put October dates. Oh no,
No, it's me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't see the name. I just saw 2 days there. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, and then Ismail, your date, please. Okay, let me check the other chat.
I couldn't use Verbling chat.
Okay, no problem. All right, my birthday is on January 27th, 1972. Okay, good. Now let's see. I think I don't quite see a space between the comma and the year, but just be aware of that. Okay, so you want to put a space there, but that's right. Okay, and then again, the way you read that is January 27th, 1972. Okay, and let's go back to yours, Karwan. Can you read that date for me, Karwan?
October 14, 1988.
Very good. October 14th, 1988.
14th, I should say th, right?
That's right. You want to say th. All right, so 14th. Now here's a date for you. I'm going to put it here, and I want you to tell me if this is correct. So this is going to be for Karwan because, well, I'm going to put it in the Verbling chat, and then I'll type a different one in the other chat. So let's say, yeah, haha. Here we go. Okay, so Karwan, I want you to tell me what punctuation I need to put there. Okay, and I'm going to put it in the other chat so that Ismail can see it as well. Okay.
November November 2nd, comma 1940.
That's right. Okay, now notice there's also a space after the comma.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, beautiful.
And period in the last.
Yes. Okay, yes. If it's at the end of a sentence, yes, you want to do that.
Carissa, November 2 or November 2nd?
Right. So you want to say second. When you're reading dates, okay, you want to use your ordinal numbers. Okay, so second. So this is what it looks like. It's second. That's the actual word, and then the abbreviation is that. Oh, I'm sorry.
27th
Give me a second.
January.
Oh, you mean yours. Okay, so yes.
27th?
7th. There you go.
Okay.
Can we say 14th October 1988?
You could, so you would say the 14th of October, and then 1978. Okay, just like that, the 14th of, I'll type it here, the 14th of October. And actually, in some countries, it's written that way. It's written this way.
In my country, I think they are writing it like that. The date and the month, then the year.
Mm-hmm.
But in US, they are using the month, then the day, and the year.
Yes, that's right. Right, so we have a different way of writing it. That's right. Mm-hmm. Okay, now I want to show you an exception. All right, so if I just say the month and the year, you don't need to use a comma. Okay, so I could say he was born in October 1978. Okay, so, and I don't need a comma there.
Because there is no numbers between them, so there is no confusing.
That's right, there's no confusion there. Exactly. Okay, now be aware, if you're going to take an English exam, then they may try to trip you up with a question like that. They may not be trying to trip you up, but just be aware that there is a difference. Okay, you only use that comma when you're separating the day from the year.
Okay, and if I have a paragraph, I can use a lot of period anytime I can use if I have a sentence.
Mm-hmm.
No
Yes,
problem.
no problem. Right.
And comma also.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Okay, so now that you mentioned that, let's go back and review. Okay, so we've talked about a few different situations where we need to use a comma. Okay, if we're going to separate the day from the month, the day of the month from the year, you use a comma. Okay, if you're going to use it after certain words, and you'll always see it when you're reading, take note of that. There are certain words that typically have a comma after them. And the examples that we used, if you're going to answer yes or no, you will usually see a comma. Okay? Or if you're saying hello when you're writing, you say hello, comma, and then you continue your thought or your sentence. Okay, let's go back. Also, you're going to use a comma if you are separating a list of things. Okay, a list of 3 or more items or things. Okay, and it doesn't really work if you just have 2 things. You can just say this and that. Okay, you don't really need a comma. You don't need a comma. Okay, and then let's go back and let's look at our sentences now. All right, so remember, with this activity, our question was, are these complete sentences? If it is not a complete sentence, then don't even bother putting a period. It's not a sentence. Okay? Wait until you have a complete sentence and then put your period. Now, how do I know if I have a complete sentence? Remember the criteria for a complete sentence?
Yes, we have a subject and verb and statement.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
so we
right.
have a complete statement.
That's right. Okay, sometimes you can have a subject and a verb like I like, but it's not a statement, because the question that your listener will ask you is, well, what do you like? Okay, because that means there's no complete statement there or complete thought. Okay? All right, very good. Also, be careful with sentences like number 4. Sometimes I see that when I look at my students' writing samples, they'll say, my city very beautiful. And what's missing is your verb in the sentence. Okay. All right. Actually, there's a lot more we can discuss about when and how to use commas in sentences. But actually, I think I'm going to make that well, I'm going to continue this. There's going to be a part 2, so we'll have to continue it. Okay,
Right.
very good. So good. Ismail and Karwan, thanks for joining me for this lesson. And for the viewers out there, thank you for joining me. Also, I think we had some participants here in the chat as well. We had David and Ruby. Thanks very much for participating in the chat box. All right, so I'll look forward to seeing you all in another class. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Carissa. Bye bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.